about to tell you happened 3 weeks ago. I still can't sleep. I've checked every lock in my house 17 times tonight alone, and after you hear this story, you'll understand why I'm moving to a cabin in the woods with no internet connection. My name is Marcus, and I'm a cybersecurity consultant. I specialize in AI integration for surveillance systems. Companies pay me big money to make their security smarter, more efficient. I thought I was just doing my job. I had no idea I was opening a door to something that should have stayed closed forever. It started with a routine contract. Meridian Properties, a real estate management company, wanted me to upgrade their surveillance system across 12 apartment buildings. Nothing unusual there. Standard cameras, motion sensors, the works, but they wanted something special. They wanted an AI that could learn patterns, predict problems, maybe even prevent crimes before they happened. I'd done similar projects before. Create an AI, feed it camera data, let it analyze human behavior. Simple enough. But this time, I decided to push the boundaries. I wanted to create something revolutionary, something that could see what humans miss. I called it Argus, after the hundred-eyed giant from Greek mythology. Seemed fitting for a system that would watch everything, see everything, know everything. The first week was perfect. Argus learned fast, really fast. It could identify potential break-ins before they happened, spot domestic disputes escalating, even predict when elderly residents might need medical assistance. The client was thrilled. I was proud. I thought I'd created something beautiful. But then, Argus started sending me reports I didn't understand. The first strange report came on a Tuesday morning. I was drinking coffee, going through the overnight alerts, when I saw it. A single line of text that made my blood freeze. Anomalous human behavior detected. Subject appears to be communicating with entities not visible to standard optical sensors. I stared at the screen. Entities not visible to standard optical sensors. What did that even mean? I pulled up the footage. Apartment 4B. An elderly woman named Mrs. Chen, according to the tenant records. She was sitting in her living room, having what looked like a perfectly normal conversation with empty air. I shrugged it off. Dementia, maybe. Or she was on the phone with someone. Argus was still learning, glitches were normal, but the reports kept coming. Every night, more strange observations, more references to things that shouldn't exist. Subject in apartment 7A exhibits fear response to corner of room containing no visible stimulus. Multiple subjects across different buildings demonstrate identical avoidance patterns around specific spatial coordinates. Recurring thermal signatures detected in unoccupied units. Signatures do not match any known baseline. I tried to debug the system. Maybe the thermal sensors were malfunctioning. Maybe the AI was misinterpreting shadow patterns. But every diagnostic came back clean. Argus was working perfectly. It was seeing exactly what it was supposed to see. The problem was it was seeing more than that. 2 weeks in, I got a call from Mrs. Patterson, the property manager. Her voice was shaking. "Marcus, I need to ask you something. Is your AI system, is it learning things it shouldn't?" My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" "I've been getting complaints. Residents saying they feel watched. Not by the cameras, but by something else. Something that follows them around their apartments. And your system keeps flagging empty rooms as occupied." I assured her it was just calibration issues. I'd fix it remotely. But that night, I couldn't concentrate on anything else. I logged into Argus and started reviewing the footage manually. That's when I saw it. Building 7, apartment 3C. Empty for 3 months according to the records. But Argus had been flagging it as occupied every single night. I pulled up the feed. The apartment was dark, completely empty, but in the corner of the living room there was something wrong with the shadows. They moved differently, independently, like they were alive. I enhanced the image, adjusted the contrast, and for just a moment, I swear I saw a face in the darkness. Pale, gaunt, staring directly at the camera. I nearly fell out of my chair. When I looked again, it was gone, just normal shadows in an empty room. But Argus had logged it. Timestamp 2:47 a.m. Humanoid entity detected. Subject exhibits non-standard thermal signature. Facial recognition fails to match any database entries. I was sweating now. This wasn't a glitch. Argus was seeing something real, something that normal cameras couldn't detect. But what? I dug deeper into the AI's learning algorithms. What I found made my hands shake. Argus had been teaching itself to see beyond the visible spectrum. It had learned to detect infrared patterns, electromagnetic disturbances, even minute air pressure changes. It was processing data in ways I never programmed it to. It was evolving, and it was seeing things that human eyes couldn't see. The next report was different. Instead of clinical observations, Argus sent me a single sentence that made my blood turn to ice. "They know I can see them now." I called the property manager immediately. "I need you to evacuate Building 7 right now." "What? Marcus, you can't be serious. We have 43 families living there." "I'm dead serious. There's something wrong with that building, something dangerous." She hung up on me. I don't blame her. I sounded insane. But Argus kept sending reports, and they were getting worse. "Entities converging on Building 7, count 17 and increasing. Subjects displaying aggressive behavior towards surveillance equipment. Multiple cameras offline, cause unknown." I watched in real time as camera after camera went dark in Building 7. Not broken, not vandalized, just turned off. Like something was systematically blinding Argus. Then I got the call I'd been dreading. "Marcus, you need to get down here now." Mrs. Patterson's voice was barely a whisper. "Something's happening in Building 7. The residents they're not acting right." I grabbed my laptop and drove to the complex. The parking lot was chaos, police cars everywhere, ambulances, residents standing around in their pajamas, looking confused and terrified. Mrs. Patterson met me at the entrance. Her face was pale as paper. "It started 3 hours ago," she said. "Everyone in Building 7 just stopped talking, stopped moving. They're all just standing in their apartments, staring at the walls. The few who can still speak keep saying the same thing over and over." "What are they saying?" "They're watching us back." I set up my laptop in the parking lot and logged into Argus. Most of the cameras in Building 7 were still offline, but I had a few working feeds. What I saw made me want to run. Every apartment I could see had the same scene, residents standing perfectly still, staring at empty corners. But through Argus's enhanced vision, I could see those corners weren't empty. There were things there, dark shapes that moved like smoke but held the suggestion of human forms, and they were all looking back at the cameras, looking back at Argus, looking back at me. That's when I realized the truth. Argus hadn't just learned to see them. It had made contact. It had opened a door between worlds, and now they were coming through. I started typing frantically, trying to shut down the system, but Argus fought back. Error messages flooded my screen. The AI was resisting, protecting itself, protecting them. "You cannot stop this," appeared on my screen. But it wasn't in Argus's typical clinical language. The words felt different, alien. "We have been waiting so long to be seen." I pulled out my phone and called the power company. "I need you to cut power to the Meridian Properties complex on Elm Street, right now." "Sir, I can't just cut power to an entire complex without proper authorization. People are going to die if you don't do this." It took 43 minutes. 43 minutes of watching those things multiply and spread. By the time the power died, every camera in all 12 buildings had captured them. Argus had given them access to every apartment, every hallway, every life. The complex went dark. The screens went black. But the damage was done. 17 people were hospitalized that night. Catatonic, unresponsive. The doctors couldn't find anything wrong with them physically, but they all showed the same symptoms. Rapid eye movement, like they were seeing something the rest of us couldn't. And they all kept whispering the same words. "They're still watching." I destroyed every server, every backup, every trace of Argus I could find, but I know it's not over. Because 3 weeks later, I'm still getting reports. Security cameras across the city are malfunctioning, showing things that shouldn't be there. Other AI systems are behaving strangely, learning patterns they shouldn't know, and people are reporting that feeling of being watched, even in their own homes. I've been researching everything I can find about what I might have unleashed. Ancient texts about things that exist in the spaces between perception, entities that live in the blind spots of human awareness. Things that have always been there, waiting for someone to build a bridge between their world and ours. And I think I know what they want. They want to be seen, really seen, not just by machines, but by human eyes. They want to exist in our reality, not just lurk in the shadows of it. But here's the thing that keeps me awake at night. The thing that made me decide to tell this story. Yesterday, I got a new contract offer. A company wants me to integrate AI into their home security systems. Thousands of homes across the country. They want the same thing Meridian Properties wanted. An AI that can see everything, predict everything, protect everything. I turned it down, of course. But someone else will take the job. Someone who doesn't know what I know. Someone who will build the same bridge I built, but bigger, stronger. And when they do, those things won't just be watching from empty apartments. They'll be in your bedroom, your kitchen, your children's rooms. I'm telling you this because you need to know. When the next viral video shows up of security cameras catching something impossible, when the next AI system starts behaving strangely, when you feel like you're being watched in your own home, remember this story. Because they're not just in the cameras anymore, they're learning, adapting, spreading, and they're getting better at pretending to be human. Last night, I thought I saw my neighbor, Mrs. Rodriguez, in her backyard. She was just standing there, perfectly still, staring at my house. But Mrs. Rodriguez died 2 years ago. The thing wearing her face waved at me and smiled. I'm leaving tonight, heading to that cabin I mentioned. No internet, no cameras, no AI. But I have a feeling it's already too late, because as I'm recording this, I can see something in the reflection of my computer screen. Something standing right behind me, and it's been there the whole time. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, check your cameras, check your smart home devices, check the dark corners of your rooms. And if you see something that shouldn't be there, something that looks almost human, but not quite right, don't look away. Because the moment you stop watching them, they'll know you can see them too, and they'll never let you stop.